Inspector, can you tell us a little bit as to why the NYPD chose to come up with this unit? What changed?
Really what changed is 2019, just a horrific year for the police department. We experienced 10 members that died by suicide that year, which was just a tragedy for everybody, for the department, their families, even for the city. I mean, you know, these officers patrolled the streets and, you know, build a lot of bridges with the community, and then to know that the officer that, you know, they saw is no longer with it. So in 2019, you know, we really looked at the practices of what we were doing, and we really changed our focus, and it was about the employee. What can we do as an agency really to institute programs to really, you know, cater to the needs of our officers and our civilians, because we had to recognize they are exposed to traumatic incidents every day. So in 2019, we created the health and wellness section. And really what we did is we looked at the spiritual, emotional, the mental well-being, and even the post-career. You know, our officers that, you know, do leave, we shouldn't forget about them. You know what I mean? They served the city for such a long time. We should really remember the service for what they did. So we formed a lot of different programs. We started with a peer support program. And currently we have 400 members, both uniform and civilian, that we go through a 4-day training led by my unit. We really teach them different things about suicide, depression, anxiety, and really looking out for each other. And we have kind of 4 pillars on that. We, you know, ask questions, encourage, listen, and follow up with each other. And these 400 peers work in the commands, both uniform and civilian. And what we do is confidential. And that's what really it has to be like that. It has to be confidential, the work that we do, but we're here to help people. So that's one of the things we did. And then we talk about physical fitness. And we started a, you know, I brought on board, you know, a physical fitness, you know, instructor, someone who has a story, was there, and really goes out there every single day to help our employees. And we don't just say, hey, you should do this, you should do that. We will show you, we will walk that journey with you to get you where you need to be. And even, again, we team up with our chaplains. Again, you know, maybe you don't want to come to us originally, that's fine. We have department chaplains, more than willing to sit down with you and talk on that. We looked at even nutrition, healthy eating. We even introduced yoga instructors to the department, where we realize, you know, the benefit of different, you know, modalities. We also looked at financial literacy of our officers, how to properly invest money, how to make ends meet, how to support a family, because that can cause a lot of stress for our officers. And then we looked at post-career, where we looked at our officers, said, how can we help you when you leave the agency? You did so much service for us in the city, but we're here to gain your support. So really what we did is we instituted a lot of programs, everywhere from really boots on the ground, going out there, talking to our officers, you know, every day at roll call, and bringing, you know, mental health to the forefront. And how I compare it is, if you break your arm, you go to the doctor. But, you know, if you're going through some kind of, you know, mental crisis, you're afraid to go to the doctor. So what we try to do is reduce the stigma. We have a stigma-free campaign where it's, again, it's okay not to be okay. And we go out there and we talk about this. We do different webinars where we talk about mental health. We have psychologists that work in the health and wellness section, and what we do is it's called the Critical Incident Debriefing Program. So we recognize our officers are exposed to trauma every single day. And how do they process that? And it's very hard to process that. How do you go home and explain to your loved ones, your spouse, you know what, how was work? Oh, it was okay. No, it really wasn't okay. You're not going to share those stories. So what we do is we humanize what happens. We bring these officers down, they sit down with one of our psychologists and a member of our employee assistance unit. We have 22 full-time uniform and civilian members in this department. That's all they do, is to look out for the members and help them in, you know, whatever journey they need to be, you know, walked with. And with this debriefing program, we process the events and we talk about it. We talk about the events you went to. We just talk about it. We process it and we normalize it and saying it's okay.
Sorry, is it individual when you guys like debrief about something critical that happened?
Usually
Or
we
you
bring
do
down
it-
partners. We'll bring down the
Okay.
partners who went there. It can be individual if they request, but we bring down the partners and we talk about it together, a group. And we really notice we actually make this mandatory. So that
Oh,
reduces the
that's good,
stigma
yeah.
of everybody's got to come down and, we talk about it. We talk about these programs. And again, it's humanizing. We're all humans.
Exactly.
We are all humans, regardless if you wear a police uniform, you're in another profession, whatever it is. We're all human beings, we're all made in the image of God, and then we have to remember that. We really have to remember that, in the work that we do. And then, what we recently introduced last August is therapy canine dogs. And they've been phenomenal. The outreach that the Employee Assistance Unit and our Therapy Canine Dog Program has is phenomenal. We have 3 dogs, and you almost have to see it in person to see. We go to roll calls and we bring the dog, we explain our resources, and again, how officers and civilians open up, they want to pet the dog, they want to interact with the dog. They see our line of duty widows, children, we bring them to our officers' families at different events. And again, just to see it in person is amazing. The work that these dogs do every single day. And the very unique thing about these dogs is how they were trained. They were trained in prison.
Wow.
Again, it's an organization called Puppies Behind Bars we teamed up with, and these dogs they live in a correction facility, and they are trained by the inmates in there. And then for the last 3 weeks of training of the dogs, we take our police officers, our canine handlers, and we put them in the corrections facilities. And what an amazing thing that is, that our police officers are learning from the people in the corrections facility. And you talk about, just community relations, whatever. How amazing is that?
Yeah.
And then the dogs go out and they live with our police officers, our handlers, and they go out to these daily events. They're on call 24 hours a day. They go to all the different critical incidents, but the important thing, they're there for our members, and that's what the focus of the health and wellness section is about. It's about the members. That's what we care about.